Hey, what's up everybody? Gonna show you guys the finished TIE Fighter. Finally got it all done. I gave up looking for stickers, so I made my own, but man, I'm glad I did. It turned out really freaking good. And this is definitely something I'd do again. It came out really good. So very impressed with how that peroxide and everything worked on it, let alone on how this homemade stickers came out. Also, made it over to Goodwill yesterday, and it's Monday. Seemed to be a good day to look for stuff, and found an old tin box, like just container type box. It'd be like the type that they'd have like mints in it, or little cookies or whatever, like a gift box. But this one stood out. It's an oddball. I'm almost wondering if it's like a military type thing, or it had something in the way of military stuff, like medical type supplies for military, or just outright medical. Otherwise, all the stamping on it is in German, and was able to translate some of it into English, and it's just the way it spells out on what it would be for. It's weird. I can't find anything else like it. It's just a real bitch to look up. As I say, man, I'm mostly finding the ones that would have candy or mints or whatever, man. So I'll show that to you guys, and hopefully I can get close enough to the camera here so you guys can see what's stamped in the top of this container. So maybe one of you that collects this kind of stuff might have it, or maybe speak German and might be able to translate it better for me, or whatever. I'm just interested to see what was in this thing. Also, found a vintage 80s toy in the box, and it's like it never got used. And it's one of those things to where either it is already really scarce to find these, or outright rare. But when it comes to this one, I'm leaning towards outright rare. As whoever packaged this, it's just a made in China toy. Right type of toy, wrong variation on what it shows on the box. But when it comes to the variation for this toy, which is just one of the pieces, is different. The main piece. I've been searching freaking eBay like crazy, searching Google, and other than finding different boxes, the boxes also have different variations, as this was obviously copied a lot. I can't find, other than a picture on the box, of anybody that has this variation on the toys in the exact toy. All I can find is ones that are different on the color. That's pretty much it. Same color as the one on the box, just different than what it shows. Like either they screwed up or they didn't care and just stuck in whatever. And I noticed that on some of the other ones I was seeing on eBay and stuff too, to where the toy inside, unless it was one where it had little plastic windows on the box where you can look through, was different than what was showing in the picture. And these kind of toys, they did that a lot, man. A lot of times you can get something different than what it shows. Otherwise it'd be the same type. So anyways, going to show you guys the finished TIE Fighter here. I'm really freaking happy. Came out so freaking nice, man. Just really happy. I said I made my own stickers. Basically just got some high gloss printer paper and that website that I gave a link to in the previous video. If you guys print those out, don't do anything on the changes on the size. Just print it out on how your printer wants it. And if it doesn't print out the right size, it means, okay, you do have to adjust something on your printer. But mine, I just brought up the picture on my iMac and just flat out printed it, and everything was perfect on the size. Before I forget, I don't know if I'm going to do it or not, because they're not too bad. There's little wrinkles here and there, but not too bad. They're still pretty much intact. I was thinking of printing out new stickers for my TIE Interceptor. And on that, the way the person did the picture that you download to print out, if you blow it up, you can see that that is the original sheet that came with the Interceptor, and it's folded right in the middle. I recommend download the picture, change the file name, and then download it again. So you have 2 copies, and then bring it up in a picture and start right at where that crease is for the fold, to where it pretty much just separates the main wing parts or whatever with the other stuff, and then crop it. It's basically how this person did it. Each one of those halves is basically a full sheet of printer paper. And then I was able to just do like I did with this, just outright print it, and it came out okay. I say, man, if it doesn't, it's your printer. It's a problem with printers, they're all different. I have one of them to where I can do borderless, but I have noticed that some of them to where it does give a border, it's a little bit more on some than others, so sometimes it will crop the picture or it will shrink it down or whatever. So you may still have to mess around with it, but that's what I found out with the one for the TIE Interceptor that's on that site. You gotta do half a page. Like I say, man, these printed out perfect. Just really, really happy with this. And for anybody that didn't watch the first video, also, I got the electronics working. And also, speaking of Star Wars stuff that I found in the not too far past, for anybody who's been watching my vids, I'd found those big freaking bagfuls of Star Wars figures at Goodwill where the person was being lazy and it's like, screw it, I'm just going to throw them all in a couple bags and just sell them as a lot instead of separating them out in the smaller bags like they usually do. Anyways, I'd gotten a whole bunch of vintage, mostly 80s Star Wars figures that it's like the person never played with them. Just maybe took them out of the packages and set them on a shelf. Anyways, went through them. Just had a feeling I had one. And I just still happened to have the original pilot figure with his gun in mint condition. So take him out. I got the gun in a little baggie. I don't want to take that out and show it. It's small. If I drop it in here, it will never be found again. Because, stuff. My luck to go somewhere in between this stuff and I'll never find it. I got this room packed otherwise. There he is. Nice and blurry. Because this camera sucks Roseanne Barr's ass. I couldn't think of anything more disgusting, so I'll just include Roseanne Barr. Otherwise, yeah. It looks better to the naked eye, according to my camera here. Say he's in perfect condition, like he never got played with. So cool that I got the pilot. Oh, also for anybody that didn't watch the first video, sticker inside is the original one. That was still in good shape, and it was on there loose. It was already falling off, and somebody had stuck it on backwards, so this probably got put together by a kid. Some of the stickers on the wings were kind of offset, like they just threw them on. Otherwise, I was able to take it off and reposition it. So, at least that's still original. Still looks nice and bright on the colors. Pretty much the only thing missing on this is just the little tab type pull-up thing that clamps on to the seat inside, so you can pull it up and down to load in your figure. Hopefully he'll get in some parts and pieces and I'll be able to replace that. Otherwise, no big deal. So, on with the show. Let's do this little box here first. Man. I hope the damn camera won't screw with me too much. Anyways, here's what the tin box looks like. It just freaking looks old, man. So I'm wondering, military or medical or something. It's almost got like a doctor thing stamped in the corner here where it says D.R.G.M. I think SCH, and then a serial number of 86747. Let's see, I'll just read the center of it here. It's a C. Cupco and Co. Carl Holtz Stralsund. And what I translated was all the outside wording around here where it just translates into something to where I can't figure out what the freaking hell was in this. It's weird. And that's about as good as I'm going to do there. Stupid camera otherwise. Some of these German words have two meanings, so I'm just guessing here on what the whole phrase is going around it. So I'm figuring the whole thing means protection against air humidity after my own deposition process. So, I mean, it's weird, man. It's an oddball. I just don't know what it'd be for. Just nothing fancy about the inside. Basically just has the hinges on it are just ones where they've just curled over the metal. Unless this was something else, it looked like it had maybe some kind of sticker originally on the bottom, if that's left over from an original sticker. Like maybe a round sticker. Otherwise, no other markings anywhere. I have no idea how old this is. There's no date anywhere. Too bad a shape. It's just the way it's put together, man. It's nothing really fancy about it. That's why I'm just thinking like medical or something, to where if you look up like old tins for mints and candies and whatnot, they were always fancy and painted up with a scene on it or whatever because they were considered for gifts. So neat, neat. Cost me $250. $350, $250, yeah, $250. Now for this, and works. But not beautifully. It's definitely was a cheap kind of toy back in the day, but it works nonetheless. It's one of those things to where it's got a little motor inside of it. They could have gone with a little bit weaker motor. It runs like a bat out of hell. Otherwise, say on where it's made, it just says made in China. Oh, there is a number 85292. Just remote control highway hauler. And it's got the little warning thing for ages 3 and up, choking hazard. The back of it just has the solid picture. Otherwise, looking at the cab there, that is not the one I got. It's the right color, right stickers, but the one inside is a flat nose. And when I looked it up, let's see, yeah, I found a white flat nose cab and a yellow one. On red, all I could find was somebody had one of the larger play sets where you get a few more trailers and stuff. And just on the top of it, where it showed some of the other things you can get, it showed the one that I have. But to find somebody with one that's the actual toy, is in loose out of the box or whatever, nada. So as far as I'm concerned, that just added to the rarity on this. I'll keep searching, but I got burned out on it, man. I searched for a good hour today on the computer, just going through Google and then getting on YouTube here. I found one guy that picked one up, but I think his set, everything was correct. He had one where just, let's see, I think it had both of the trailers that you get with this, and then it had a helicopter, a boat, and then one that's kind of like a fold-up type where the sides flip down to where you can stick like little Hot Wheels cars in it, which is kind of cool. And what I did on this, on getting it to work better-ish, is pretty much just getting stuff lined up. You could tell that these are just thrown together. Like all the tires and stuff on the wheels and everything, little burrs of plastic that they didn't peel off or whatever, where they just threw it together. And on the two trailers, it's got a flip down so you can stand them up on their own without it being connected to the truck. One of them, the flip down does okay. The other one, they didn't trim it good, so I took that part off and just trimmed it down a little bit with some sandpaper. Now it works, so everything does what it's supposed to do. It's just so funny. It's like this one, I look at it and it's almost like the mold didn't quite come out. Not any place really obvious. It's more in the part that goes under the piece that holds it, so you can flip it down. Otherwise, everything else looks good. Stickers are good. Just decent. It's almost like the quality you'd get with one of the older plastic model kits. That kind of plastic and whatnot, other than a lot of them, you didn't get metal axles or anything for the wheels. It's all plastic. This used to get the metal axles. They're a little long, which, yeah, this one I was able to push them together a little bit. They didn't even do that right. They were just off. And it does have the doubles there, dualies or whatever. So this is the part where I had to work on it on the other one where it flips down. Still got to be kind of careful there. Don't want to break the plastic. That makes it so you can stand it up. And this one. It's a little loose now because I had to mess with it. It's easy enough to pop this out if you guys ever find one of these sets. Just be really careful. I just got flathead screwdriver and just lift it up a little bit. It's kind of in a notch type thing. It's got a lip on it, so it's just got to wedge it up just a tiny little bit, and that piece will slide out if you got to have to mess with it or anything. Oh, okay, I did get these ones lined up better. Yeah, same thing. They weren't quite lined up on the axles good, so was. I could almost do a little bit more on this. Yeah, I can almost take a little more off. I always feel like I'm going to break it. That's it, man. I seriously doubt if this ever got played with. Who knows, man? I live in an area to do with trucking. Got our truck stops around here, so this is Kingman's one of the stops when you're on your way to Phoenix or whatever. So this could have came from one of the old truck stops back in the 80s here. So these are the kind of toys you'd get. Otherwise, like I say, some things aren't like the other. But if it makes it more rare, cool. I'll just leave in a little note on the video if I finally find somebody online or a picture of one loose. As you can see, has a wire hanging out the side. This is the way they did with a lot of the wired remote toys. They had to have some place for the wire to hang otherwise. Thin wire, decent length on the cord, and this is what's funny. It's like the front wheels aren't dualies on this. Yeah, this one I can adjust that much because the ones that make it go right there, that's connected to the motor, which is under that area. And I just kind of adjusted everything a little bit to tighten stuff up. It's really simplistic. I say, man, these are really close to like model quality, or on this, like model quality, hence maybe more like a slot car on how it works. It's just got the motor with the crank on it, and then a little cog in that area there, which sometimes slips a bit because that motor is way too freaking strong for this. I say, man, it freaking hauls. And it's loud. So let's see here. See what I mean? Probably going to take the remote apart here too, as that button's a little touchy. Let's see if I can get it better. Looks like a simple fix. In fact, they got a slot cut in the bottom of it there where you can see the metal it's touching. I almost wonder if they did that on purpose, to where they expect you to stick like a screwdriver in there to rebend it. Because I'm thinking there's no springs in here, to where it's just a little plastic button touching a couple of metal flaps, pushing them together. These are usually really freaking simplistic, so easy to fix. And it takes a couple of AA batteries. Had a little screw in there to hold it shut, otherwise it stays shut good. So somebody might have tested it, but I say it doesn't show any signs of a little kid playing with it. And this comes apart real easy. Screw there. Has a little lip to the bottom of it, so this whole top piece flips off. And then I believe there was one more screw once you take this part off, and then a screw to the back. And then the whole top piece flips off to reveal the axles and stuff and where the motor is. So it's a slot car style motor, so if you wanted to repair one of these, that's all you got to do is find the same type. Wiring's real simple. It's a pretty basic toy wise. Cool. Cool. Don't know when I'll be getting back to Goodwill, as our weather's going to get crappy again. Sometimes you can get good stuff there, because I think I only spent like $3 or $4.50 on this. This was cheap too. Just to give you guys an idea of what it's worth for just a cheap little 80s toy like this. This is what people are asking on eBay. It seems to jump around from about $45 to $50 plus shipping, if they're wanting shipping. So pretty good for something like this, because it's definitely one of the cheaper toys that you would have gotten like a convenience store, gas station, truck stop, whatever. the guy that I found the video on, he was saying Woolworths, and I can't remember when Woolworths went out of business. I think somebody was saying that Walmart bought them out. I'll have to check on that. But this thing, man, I could tell it's been copied a lot. Kept seeing the same toy but different packaging. Where it's either like this, where yeah, it shows a neat picture, otherwise kind of plain when it comes to just descriptions and all the stuff to hype it up, other than just remote control highway hauler. And then some of them did have little plastic windows in so you could see the toys. Once again, man, I gotta give Big Mike credit, man. You made me happy on that toy there. You made it worth the trade that I was able to get it so freaking nice looking. And I'm right, man. I think every time I go into that place, I'm gonna see new stuff. Last time I was in there, I was trying to make a deal on something. Oh God, man, I had to wait a while because people kept bringing in stuff. One lady just had box after box of this, that, and the other, man. So everybody's bringing in new stuff to where he's gonna have to find himself a place just to store it, man, other than in the store. I don't know where he's putting all of it, other than just keeps coming in. Definitely say every time I go there, there's gonna be something different. That's what I love about this guy's store. It's so cool. Don't know if I'll sell him this or trade him this for something. Not a truck driver. Hate country music. That pretty much says it all. Hate truck driving music, which is pretty much country music. But I'm sure there's some metalheads out there that drive big rigs. Speaking of truck drivers, one of my friends, that's what he did, was he drove truck. Fortunately, the last thing was that kind of truck, and he was starting to have visual problems. So yeah, stay off the sidewalk if you see somebody coming by in a red freaking gas truck that says night transportation on it, and he's really skinny, just in case he got hired again. But as far as I know, he's on disability, I hope. So got other stuff to show you guys. I'm just in the process of trying to get stuff sorted out. So some of the other stuff that I want to show is in other freaking rooms and whatnot. I've been going through my garage just trying to find all my parts and pieces type toys to where I really don't have the time or give a crap about restoring them. But he goes for stuff like that at the toy store, so I've sold him a lot of Star Wars toys that are just basically for repair or to be used as parts. So been able to do some trades with them and make some money, so hey, I'm a happy dude. So, see you guys in the next vid, or you guys see me in the next vid, or somebody sees something in a vid, or whatever vid. Later.